Wow, here we are again, Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. I actually am the most computer illiterate human being that ever lived. I did an excerpt a few minutes ago on the book of James, and I viewed it. And by viewing it, I lost it and can't find out where it went. So I go back and look, and it's not in where it should be. So I erased it evidently when I canceled it out, when I X'd out that particular part. And so I'm going to do the book of James again. If it should pop up, maybe Brother Larry will put it in two different places. But the book of James, chapter 1, the authorship and salutation is put in there by James, the brother of Jesus Christ. And he was a servant of God and the Lord Jesus Christ. He accepted his own half-brother as the Lord Jesus Christ. And he followed him, and he saw enough in him to be able to believe the fact, which the truth was, that he was the Son of God, even though he was born by the same mother. And he writes now to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. And he uses the word greeting. I would put several other things in here and show you the scriptures that I have studied this week, but I didn't tell you to get a pad and paper first. But next time you watch me, get a pad and paper, and I will quote some verses. My brethren, now what's he calling? He's calling other Christians his brethren. Count it all joy when you fall into divers temptations. I find very often in my life, when I fall into a diver's temptation, that I don't count it joy if I'm not careful. So, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. If you will follow the scriptures as close as you're possibly able to, you will be entirely furnished and you'll be wanting nothing. You have the answer for every single thing that comes down the pike. Everything in your life, be it good, bad, indifferent, be it words of wisdom or words of singing or whatever. And if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. This is an intellectual need to have this knowledge. But where do we get it? We can ask God, but we have to put our eyes in the book. We have to follow on the words. We have to read the verses. We have to find out what it is that God will bless in our lives. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like the wave of the sea, that is driven with the wind and tossed. For let not a man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Wow. This is one that I've had to be careful, very careful of, as I grew in my Christian life through the years, and have to be very careful of it today, that I don't get in my own way and say, well, Lord, I don't really need you in this one, I can do it. That's double-minded. You need God in every decision you make. You need him in every second, every minute of your life. You need God in your life. And so, if you don't have him, you're in trouble. Let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, but the rich in that he is made low, because as the flower of the grass he shall pass away. For the sun is no sooner risen with burning heat, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grass of the fashion of it perisheth. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways. That doesn't have to be. He's saying if the rich man doesn't come over where the poor man is and say, I don't really need anything but God, I'm not going to rely on my riches, and your riches will not carry you to heaven. And so you can't rely on your riches to carry you to heaven. You have to rely on Jesus Christ. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to them that love him. Wow. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man, when he is tempted of his own, listen to that now, is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Do not err, my brother, beloved brother. I can honestly, fairly say to you, I've been saved since 1972. There are times in my life when I allow a small thing called sin to enter in and do not do what I was supposed to be doing. I have watched before a Western on TV, convicted at every minute of it because it was during a period of time I was doing excerpts. And I should have been doing excerpts rather than watch the Western. Was the Western bad? No, the Western wasn't bad. What was bad? The bad part was I was disobedient and not doing what I was supposed to be doing. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow or turning. Who is the Father of lights? That is God. He is the one who spoke the sun into existence and threw it out there. He's the one that hung the moon in its place. He's the one that put billions and billions and quadrillions of stars in the sky. And he knows the name of every single one of them. And he knows the name of every one of his sons and daughters who are Christians. And so believe that. The test of a Christian's obedience is in his experience the new birth. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creation. Wow, that sounds good to us. We're a kind of first fruits to his creation. His creation was, we don't know how many years ago. And so, but we know since Jesus is 1900 and something years. But what was his creation? His creation was heaven. And we're going to be some of the first fruits in that place called heaven. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God. Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness, all superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. No man is saved without this word. This word is what comes into a man's heart and saves his soul. Be ye doers of the word, not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Wow. For if a man be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he is. I would be the most foolishest man to look in the mirror and say, wow, what a good looking man you are. I'm not. I'm an ugly looking man. I'm a man that's not pleasant for most people to look at, especially young people. They say, that old wrinkled up man, look at him. But whoso looketh into a perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deeds. Now, we were talking up above by being a doer of the word, by believing the word. Now we've got in a verse right down here, it's called in verse 25, the work. Now, that's a little different, isn't it? You're a doer of the work. If any man among you seem to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man religion is in vain. People do not like to be told, son, woman, girl, boy, that language you're using is not godly. Therefore, can you prove that you tell me you're saved, but you can't prove it by the way you talk? There's something wrong with that. You need to clean that up. You need to change that. Pure religion and undefiled before God the Father is this: to visit the fatherless, visit the widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. Wow. That's something we need to do. That's something I need to work on. I have done some of that, but I have failed greatly in some of that. And therefore, I need to rebuke myself and get on the ball and get back to work and get this visiting thing correct. And we'll see you next time. Brother Peter saying, have a good day. There's no such a thing as a good day without God. So have it in God. We'll see you next time. Right. Bye-bye.